on mimics.
That book was by Tim Shorts.
Right.
And so I think I gave him about 8 different stories on entities that mimic.
Right.
Yeah, it's a real good book. But
It is.
All the people who contributed to the book and everything else. And don't you have some stories in there?
No.
I thought you did. Okay.
No.
Yeah. But it's a good book, and it is amazing if you think about it, how many entities do mimic humans. Yeah.
Brad Steiger wrote a great book called Shadow World a while back, which dealt with some of that as well.
Right, Brad Steiger. Yeah, that's a good man.
Yeah.
It was sad when he passed away. And then his wife actually passed away shortly after.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sad. Definitely a legend.
Yeah.
In fact, when I was a little boy, I was reading his books.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So,
the Strangers from the Skies, remember that one?
Yeah.
That was his first one, I think, and it just coincided with the
Star People?
The sightings in Michigan.
Oh, yeah.
In the mid-'60s and the swamp gas fiasco and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, it was perfect timing. I remember reading that on a rainy summer afternoon.
Yeah, when I was a little boy, I was reading Brad Steiger's books. When Eric Von Däniken came out with Chariot of the Gods, I started reading that. I would go up to my tree house, bring those books up there, read them, along with my comic books. And and then I would have friends in the neighborhood, especially this one friend named John Rochelle. He would come up to the tree house and bring Playboys. And and I wasn't looking at the Playboys. I was looking at my comic books and reading Brad Steiger. And they go, hey, what's going on here? I was like, this is what I'm interested in, Yeah, so.
That's spice things up a bit. But sometimes somebody would find a bunch of those magazines that somebody put out to the trash. They would be collected and hidden.
Oh yeah. Now, what kind of background do you got there?
Oh, that's just my messy room. I got it blurred.
Oh, okay. You got it blurred. Okay.
Don't want to see what a bad housekeeper I am.
Yeah. Usually you have some kind of fancy background.
Oh yeah, I sometimes I put stuff up. So what kind of comic books did you read? What were your favorites?
I was actually infamous letter hack. That means I wrote thousands of letters to comic books and had them published. And if you Google letter hack on Wikipedia, you'll see my name listed.
Oh, cool.
So I read every kind of comic book, Marvel, DC, all the independents. I even published my own comic book, The Legendary Dark Silhouette.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I published my own comic book.
Oh, you did?
Circulation of about 6 or 7 around town.
Oh, okay.
The weekly funnies. I had a superhero strip. I had a science fiction strip. And, with bad spelling and as best I could draw. So that was kind of, I still have some of those laying around somewhere.
And I even had a fanzine called the People's Comic Book Newsletter.
Ah.
Yeah, and all the issues of the People's Comic Book Newsletter, which I produced, sits at Bowling Green University in special collections.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I started out with DC and Batman and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But man, when I discovered Marvel, even before I think they were calling it Marvel,
right?
I discovered the monster comics before that second wave of superheroes came in, like Tales to Astonish, Tales of Suspense.
Oh, okay.
Journey into Mystery, and Jack Kirby's art and Steve.
Oh, Ditko. Jack Kirby, yeah.
Oh man.
And I met Stan Lee in person. I met him.
Really?
I met him at the 1997 San Diego Comic Con.
Wow.
Yeah, and we presented him with this reward from the People's Comic Book Newsletter, which had a drawing of his face on it. And he goes, and he's so humble. He goes, "What did I do to deserve this?" I go, "Oh my God, you're a freaking legend, dude."
I talked to him very briefly once when he was on Larry King one night.
Oh,
Larry King used to have his late night radio show. So
yeah, that very humble man. Very.
West Virginia, hello.
Hey, hello.
So Mac, there's a thing going on. Yeah, in Boston.
that was
Was it like a comic con? Satan con. Satan con?
Satan Con. Oh my.
Yeah, it's booking that religion and government opens up this weekend in Boston. Excellent.
Fucking great. I want to go.
They're at the best place. The World Trade Center, where is it?
maybe Mac to arm wrestle Satan.
Who'd win that? An example celebrating 10 years of existence. Satan Con convention. We go at 35. Are we ready?
5?
10 seconds, yeah.
Okay.
Here we go. Ready? Here we go. Alright. 5 seconds. There we go. Welcome back everyone to Mack Maloney's Military Sound Show here on the Distant Thunder Radio Network. This is Mack Maloney with the show we have for you tonight. First, let me quickly introduce the members of the Posse Girls. 3 Girls 1 is here.
Hello, everybody. Hello, girls. Welcome to the show. Hello, Mac. How you been?
Have you been back to your social club since you were initiated or inducted?
No, I haven't.
Wow. Well, you're a Johnny
I don't know why. I know. What a killjoy. You know, ever since I've been initiated, I haven't been there. But
wow. You know,
and I can walk there. I can stagger back from the place. You know, it's
a
I don't
mistake.
know.
You don't know what you're missing. But you know,
Yeah.
Coach Mike said, "I don't want to be a member of a club that would admit me."
Exactly.
Was that the quote? Anyway, no Coco
Yeah, I don't want to
tonight.
be a member of the club that would admit me as a member. Yeah.
No Coco tonight. However, I came home from a short vacation, Lois and I, the other day, and at my door was a care package from CC, and it was a Top Gun hat, Top Gun Maverick hat, and also a fifth of peanut butter whiskey. Okay.
What?
It's a half kilo of vomiting.
Really, that sounds delicious.
No, it doesn't. No.
Was it peanut butter vodka or peanut butter what?
Peanut butter whiskey.
Peanut butter whiskey, really?
Well, that's
So-
different.
Yeah, I know. So anyway, I sampled it and I had it right back to him. I said, you know, it wasn't as awful as I thought it was going to be. And then it turns out that down in Tacoma, the nearby Tacoma, they actually have a drink down there where they use peanut butter whiskey and some kind of carousel or something that tastes like jelly. It's a peanut butter and jelly drink. I think, yeah, right. Yeah, not that. Anyway, that's my adventure with Coco's peanut butter whiskey. But it's good. It's not bad. Let me put that. Speaking of peanut butter, is our national correspondent down there in Peanut Butter, West Virginia. Switchblade Steve Ward, switching.
Great to be here, Mac.
Maybe I should say Shiny Hiney, West Virginia. Would you not?
That's fine.
Okay. What's going on down there? Should I ask?
Weather's getting a little bit better. Nothing terribly exciting.
Okay, sounds okay. Good. Should I ask how the cats are? I mean, I'm trying to engage her in conversation. Which,
I'm writing a piece on the Mothman for a friend who's going to publish it in a booklet.
And how are the cats involved in that? They helping you write?
The cats are not involved, but I know you're not too enamored with cats, so I thought I'd change the subject.
Open the door there first. Also with us is our favorite witch up there in Sideways Young Raven.
Hello, my friends. Thank you so much for having me.
Hello, Ray.
Hello.
Did you cut your own bangs, or did you have someone named Francois do?
Oh no, I just cut them myself. That's why
Yep.
they don't look good.
No, I think they look very neo-share looking.
Sure, I'll take that.
Really? Yeah. You know how dumb she was, though. It doesn't bother you that she was dumb. It is dumb.
Share?
What? Cher was dumb? What do you mean? We're talking.
No,
Oh,
Cher is a goddess.
She thought Mount Rushmore was a natural formation. She thought Mount Rushmore.
I mean, we all make mistakes. You know.
That's what's wrong with
It's
it.
friggin' Cher.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Cher.
In the studio with us is Al Ronaldo, UFO mechanic. Yeah.
Hello, Mac. Hello, everyone.
Okay. Anything good with you?
It's going all right. Every day above ground's a good day.
He has Pistol Pete's putting green on the desk here. He's got his beer in the looks like the 17th hole there. What's going on?
Well, it just happened to be a poster thing on the table. I'm using the putting green to keep down
Even the sound.
the sound of me banging around over here. So this is the only thing. I couldn't find a towel, so I went out and I filched each putting green off his.
Yes, right. Yeah.
Off the, up there.
I hope he's not looking for it. We'll put some music behind that.
Hey.
Also joining us, very special guest, Paul Dale Roberts out there in California. Please, let's clap for him because, you know,
Thank you, Big Mac. Thank you. and I got a message for Steven. I got a message for Raven.
no, please.
Okay, Steven, if you're writing something about Mothman, Google Sacramento Mothman. Okay, you'll find some good information there.
Okay, what's it called again?
Just Google Sacramento Mothman.
Okay, all right.
Okay. And then for Raven, I met Cher in 1979 at Harris Tahoe. I was dancing with Jeff Kutash's dancing machine, and we were the first number for Cher. And so I met Cher, and I just shook her hand and said, "Oh, how you doing?" and everything like that. So yeah. But
That's awesome.
yeah, and she was just going solo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
No Sunny free. Okay, well, I'm sure she's a nice person. She's born, we share a birthday, which is, you know, but anyway, she's been around for a long time.
Oh yeah, for a long time.
She's got
What was her first solo record? Was it Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves, or was it something before that?
I don't know.
That's probably it.
Yeah, that's probably it.
She was big. She was big when she with Sonny, and then also without him, and they started with the Wrecking Crew of all connection.
Yeah.
We were in the Wrecking Crew, which was this big conglomeration of session musicians that recorded a lot of the music in the 60s and 70s that not a whole lot of people knew. So anyway, Paul, we have to get this out of the way, okay? Now, every time you're on, we have to mention that at one point you were the disco king of Sacramento.
Right. Disco King of Sacramento, 205 hours, 8.5 days, 5-minute breaks on every hour. If during that 5-minute break, if I had to use the restroom, I had to do it during that 5 minutes. And then I had witnesses who came with me to watch me utilize the restroom.
Wow, huh? Yeah. You sure that wasn't included in the contract, or just weirdos happen to be around? Did you eat?
Huh?
Did you fed?
What's that?
Were you fed? Did you eat any food?
Oh yeah. I ate while dancing. So all these different restaurants, they represented the 205-hour disco marathon, and so they would bring me food, and I would eat on the dance floor. And then also too, if I felt like I was ready to fall out, they had this huge German woman, and she would slow dance with me and keep me from falling. And then at some point in time, I would go, "Okay, you can let me go now," and I would just be revitalized and ready to dance again.
Wow. Maybe that's amazing. Just have a large German woman in your life.
No.
Is that it?
Oh my God.
Wow, huh?
So, what was the record again, Paul?
I danced 8.5 days, 205 hours. In fact, if you Google disco Wikipedia, and you go into the dancing section of it, they mention me.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, two questions, then we'll move on. Did you train for this? Do you know what I mean? You must have trained for it, right?
Well, I was going out to nightclubs all the time, and I would dance all night.
Yeah.
I would go to after hours and dance till 4 o'clock in the morning. And so
Yeah.
one day, this one DJ, he goes, God, you got so much energy. Everybody's falling out, and you're still going. And he goes, you know what? Why don't you start doing something for the Guinness Book of World Records and try to gain a record for disco dancing. So my very first one was for 72 hours, which is about 3.5 days. So I did that one, and I was the first one to attempt the disco dance record. And so you had all these paparazzi that was actually there, even from places as far away as Germany, taking my photo after I got 72 hours. But Guinness Book of World Records said, you know, you didn't make the world's record. I go, what? I said, I was the first one to do it. And then they said, yeah, but you took too long of breaks. You took 15-minute breaks. And you're only allowed 5-minute breaks. I go, oh, shoot.
Damn.
So then some guy did 185 hours. And so the newspaper people, they came up to me and they said, well, are you going to beat this guy who did 185 hours? And I said, yeah, I'll do 205. And so there it goes. And I did the breaks properly, 5-minute breaks on every hour.
Yeah. Now listen, I gotta ask this question delicately, okay? This is the 70s. This is the disco era. I know a lot of people used to dance all night too. And then they'd come into work for 8 hours, and they'd go out and dance for another 12 hours. But they had a buddy with them. You know the buddy I'm talking about?
Oh,
Any of that involved, or is that?
no.
Okay, all right. That's all right. That's
And also too, it was funny that you mentioned that because I would be out dancing until 4 o'clock in the morning,
yes.
and then I would sneak into work, and this was a government job, and go right into the files, and my supervisor will look at me and she goes, what time did you get here? I go, I got here at the regular time, 8 o'clock. And she goes, where were you? I said, in the files. And so she believed it for a while, so.
I was security in his hands.
Oh my God.
Anyway, so now you're a UFO researcher. I know that you write a lot. You also go on field trips and stuff like that. But yeah, did you get into it because you saw? I mean, the story that always fascinates us that you tell us is that while you were working for the government, you were privy to some very top secret photographs taken in orbit, and it really looked like there was stuff flying around up there that just wasn't ours. Would you say?
Oh, exactly. The 6 photographs that came in, one was a globe shape, the other one was a disc shape, one looked kind of like ball lightning, one cigar shape, one triangle, and one cube. So these 6 photographs came in, and on the back of them, it said intelligent movement. But that's not what got me into the UFOs. In 1974, in Fort Jackson, South Carolina, I was with 2 other soldiers, and we were in the town of Columbia, and we looked up in the sky, and we saw 6 UFOs, disc-shaped, glowing blue, in the sky, in formation, like a V-shaped formation, and then scattered in all different directions. Erratic type behavior, just things that our conventional aircraft can't do. And one of the soldiers looks at me and he goes, geese? I go, geese? What are you talking about? Those are disc-shaped, they're glowing blue, that's not geese.
Yes.
Yeah, and so we were going to go back to the base and make a report about it, but then we all chickened out. Okay, so 1976, I had a 3-year break before going back into the military again. So in 1976, I'm back in Sacramento, ready to be the Disco King, and I was living with a woman named Helen Lane. And Helen Lane, at some point in time, she comes into the apartment, she's screaming, she's hysterically shaking and everything else. And I go, what's going on? She goes, there was a UFO above me, 200 feet above my head. I go, that's a bunch of BS. I don't believe it. I said, just because I told you my 1974 UFO story, I don't believe that this actually happened. I said, if it actually happened, let's go to the Sacramento Sheriff Office and make a report. So she went with me. We made a report.
Yes.
And they gave us an 800 number to the Center of UFO Studies, which J. Allen Hynek was, was the actual group leader of this organization.
Very famous guy in UFO.
Yeah. So about 2 weeks later, J. Allen Hynek actually calls me, and he goes, I need to speak to Helen Lane. And I said, you know, this is funny that you would ask that, but I said, she's gone. We broke up. He goes, you guys...
That did not surprise me, but okay, that's another show.
He goes, you guys broke up? I go, yeah. He goes, you got any way of getting in touch with her? I said, no, I don't. So he goes, do you know what the UFO looked like? I said, I just so happened had Helen draw me a picture of the UFO. He goes, can you send that to me? I go, yeah, sure. So before I knew it, because I sent this picture, Dr. J. Allen Hynek was in communication with Sacramento Bee, which is a newspaper.
Yes.
And I found out 2 other people in 2 different areas on the same night in Sacramento saw the very same UFO that Helen Lane saw.
Really?
So I knew that Helen Lane wasn't lying. She was actually telling the truth, because here we got 3 people in 3 different areas of Sacramento that saw the same UFO.
Did they break up with their girlfriends too? So listen, did you break up with her because?
No.
Sure. If you let us, if you did, no.
Just went our own separate ways.
Why didn't you believe her though? Why didn't you believe her?
Mac. So anyway, and then so with this UFO experience I had, and the one in 1974, I was actually sitting in a movie theater watching James Bond, and I started thinking. I said, I wonder what those military intelligence guys do. And I remember seeing some of them, because in 1973 to 1976, I was an MP military policeman. In fact, I got a picture in one of my books. If you can see, there I am, right there. Yeah. I was
I know, it's squared away. Look at it.
I was an MP working for the Drug Suppression Team, CID Criminal Investigation Division, from 73 to 76. So when I got out for 3 years doing the disco thing, and disco died in 1979, so I went back to the Army recruiter after watching James Bond, and I asked the Army recruiter, I go, what is it the military intelligence guys do? And he just made it sound like James Bond. I said, oh man, this is what I want to get into. So before I knew it, I was signing on the dotted line, and 1979, I'm back in the Army again, Fort Huachuca, Arizona, and going to military intelligence school as an intelligence analyst, 97 Bravo. Wow. So and then I was sent to the Photo Interpretation Center in Korea.
Yes.
And that's where I saw the 6 photographs that had intelligent movement on the back of it, and with 6 photographs which represent videos of various UFOs taken by our reconnaissance satellites and reconnaissance aircraft. And I would pick up the hot rolls for the image interpreters from Osan Air Force Base.
So
was all that stuff classified at the time, or what?
Yeah, well, I had a top secret SBI clearance, special background investigation type clearance, which takes about 6 months to get. And everything that I'm telling you, oh yeah, it was definitely classified. But I've written articles about it, never been arrested for it or anything like that. Because I feel that if they did do something like that, then it would show that what I'm saying is true.
Yeah.
Did you have to sign anything? Like a
Oh
promise?
yeah, absolutely, absolutely, yeah.
Because we used to do that. We haven't talked about this in a while, but it's something we should probably try to revive. And this is it. We would hear a lot, especially on the old show, from veterans who said they saw something, but they were told by higher ups, don't say anything about this or you're going to lose a pension, you're going to lose your grade.